All right, starting 2.2, example 1. Solve x minus 6 is greater than or equal to negative 10. Okay, so this is sort of just like an equal sign. All right, you've worked with problems very similar to this before. There will be some properties, though, that will be applied that will affect the inequality sign, but not in this case. All right, so all we have to do is add 6. Whenever you're adding or subtracting values from both sides of the inequality, nothing changes with the inequality sign. So here we have x is greater than or equal to negative 4. All right, and if you're still having trouble figuring out how to add and subtract integers, positive and negative numbers, make sure to ask for help with that. Once again, I just need to emphasize this. If you're having trouble, take the first number, put it on the number line, so that's 0. Here we're at negative 10 then. Negative 10 is where you're starting. If you're adding 6, you're going to the right. So I'm adding 6. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5, there's 6. Okay, I added 6, so I went to the right 6, and I end up at negative 4. That's all you have to do when you're adding and subtracting integers. Just draw out a number line, okay, and start with the first number, and then either go left or right, depending on whether you're adding or subtracting. Okay, so graphing this inequality, oh, that's a terrible one. Graphing this inequality, I'm starting at negative 4. I'll put 0 here as well, you don't have to. And x is greater than or equal to negative 4. Okay, so we're starting at negative 4, and it's equal to, so I fill this in. And it's greater than, so I go to the right. And there's my graph. Going on to the next example. All right, solve each inequality, graph the solution. All right, we have to isolate the variable. All right, here I'm going to subtract 8. I get y is less than or equal to negative 3. All right, and then they asked me to graph the solution. You have a ruler, so make lines nicer than mine. All right, and we have negative 3, and it's less than or equal to. So it's less than or equal to, so since it's equal to, solid dot, and it's less than, I'm going to the left. All right, for the next one, I need to get m by itself. This is positive 1.4, so I need to subtract 1.4. Cancels out. So I get negative 8 minus 1.4. That gives me negative 9.4 is less than m. Okay, you could read this from right to left. M is greater than negative 9.4. I prefer to have the variable on the left side to prevent confusion. So here's m, here's negative 9.4. And whenever you're switching the variable at the very end over to the other side, make sure to switch the inequality sign. Okay? And graphing the inequality, here's 0, negative 9.4, and m is greater than negative 9.4. So greater than, no equal sign, just means a open dot, open circle, and we're going to the right because it's greater than. Alrighty, and that's it for that. Going on to example 3. Word problem. Don't freak out, just take your time. Step by step, highlight the important pieces of information. All right, circuit overloads at 1,800 watts of electricity. You plug a microwave oven that uses 1,100 watts of electricity into the circuit. All right, so overloads at 1,800, but we're okay because the microwave is 1,100. All right, write and solve an inequality that represents how many watts you can add to the circuit without overloading the circuit. Okay, here's a big idea. So the microwave requires 1,100 watts. All right, and I can't go over 1,800 watts. All right, so whatever I add onto this 1,100 watts, it has to be less than 1,800 watts. Now, why did I not say equals? Because it says it overloads at 1,800. So if it hits 1,800, it overloads. But if it's less than 1,800, then we're okay. So there's the inequality. That answers part A. And it says, in addition to the microwave oven, which of the following appliances can you plug into the circuit at the same time without overloading the circuit? So how do you figure out what else you could plug in without overloading the circuit? Well, I already know that I'm taking up 1,100 watts with the microwave. Let's just solve for W, because that will help me determine how I keep the wattage less than 1,800. So all I'm going to do here is subtract 1,100, and I get W is less than 700. Alrighty, so the wattage of whatever else I plug in just has to be less than 700 in order for the circuit not to overload. So looking at all these appliances here, which have a wattage less than 700? Well, that would be the clock radio and the blender. So clock radio and the blender. All right, that answers part B. All right, done. Begin the assignment at the bottom of the web page. Make sure to ask questions if you have any.